What up, everybody? What up? Welcome to the Slaughta POD, STWF Studios. STWF Studios, let's just be clear now. We're here now. Well, today, March 9th, is turned out it'll be the day that I lay my beloved Isis to rest. Rest in peace, Isis. Life is precious and it's priceless, y'all. And life is very, very uncertain. You can be here one moment and gone the next. So it's just very important that y'all, love while you're here, live while you're here, laugh. People, I'm very serious. And something that y'all got to realize is that not everybody's living. Some people are just going through the motions. Some people are really literally just sleepwalking. So people, it's time for us to stop sleepwalking and get out here and start living. Because, tomorrow's just not promised. So yeah, today, y'all, I had to put my baby girl Isis to rest. And we lost Mike, Big Mike at Metroflex Gym last Thursday. Today, I lose my dog Isis, which is really my ride or die. Me and that dog has been through so much things over the years, it's not even funny. And like I said, when I went through my homeless period, the homeless spell, that dog provided so much companionship and protection. It's just amazing. And for those who know, not everyone is into animals, just like not everybody's in the, computers or cars or weightlifting. People have different hobbies, different love, different interests. But the main thing is within your lifetime, I think it would be a crime if you don't find what your passions are, the things you love, the things that, you can do without that other people rave about. And I think a lot of times in life, some people have gotten a dog because they saw the relationship I had with Isis. And they just were not dog people. They weren't meant to have a dog. 2 or 3 months later, they're trying to, hey, Slaughta, you want a dog, man? Bro, I thought I wanted a dog, man. I like my freedom. I don't like that responsibility, this and that. So not everyone is cut out for it. But like I say, for those who know, they know. And I just feel that today is another one of those days, just like last Thursday was losing Mike. It's just a day to put things in perspective, the cycle of life in total perspective. In my headphones, I'm kind of choppy and breaking up, but hopefully y'all can hear me clearly. So tech guy, my IT dude, let me know if I need to start over or we need to switch. Like I said, as long as they can hear me on YouTube or whatever, we're good. But in my headphones, I'm kind of cutting in and out. But I don't need to hear that, just making sure y'all can hear me clearly. So it just helps me put things in perspective. Each and every day that you're given with your husband, your wife, your homeboy, your coworker, your dog, your cat, no matter what the breed, no matter what the species, no matter what the race, when you're given something, never take it for granted. When you walk outside your door, it's not a guarantee that you're going to walk back through it. I have been preparing myself that, none of us get this forever. Everything born has a day that it will die. And honestly, I've been getting a lot of people reaching out to me, and I appreciate y'all. And, I'm not devastated because I knew it was coming. Isis, her health has been failing for a while. She's nosedived many times and pulled out of it. And, this was just one of those times I knew last night. Melinda was like, should we take her in now? And I'm like, no, she's going to spend the last night here because I knew it was her last night. She didn't want to eat. That's been the last couple of months. She'll eat one day, won't eat the next. Her stomach got really bloated. She lost her ability to walk. People, I would have been selfish if I would have tried to hold on to her for my own selfish reasons. Whether it's an aging loved one, may it be a pet that you had for years, people, please have the strength and the humanity to let go when it's time to let go. Because no animal or person should be kept alive to suffer just to keep you company, just to keep you feeling like, well, at least they're still here. They're really not. If you've ever been sick or in pain or just really going through something traumatic, you're not yourself. You're not enjoying food. If you're really going through something, if you really tore up, they can place your favorite dish in front of you and you will have no desire for it. And when you lose an appetite to eat, an appetite to live, when you lose an appetite for life, because you're terminally ill with cancer, and now if you're battling cancer or if you're battling some disease and they say you have a fighting chance, please keep fighting. Once you're placed on hospice, once you have a terminal diagnosis and it's past the point of no return, you should be, the family members should be willing to let go. I just talked to my partner on the phone. Thank you. What's up? Hip Hop Gangsters, Big Ant, Anthony Marcus just reached out to me. He was very affected by ISIS, as many people were. He said just watching me with ISIS, made him want to get a dog. And, me and ISIS, we lived with my partner for a while when I went through my homeless period. And he got really attached to her and was just amazed at how smart she was and how we would be going to certain parts of town might not be the safest. He'd be like, let's bring ISIS. And me and him, we had this thing where ISIS was our good luck charm. Whether we had firearms or not, it's just something about having a ride or die. You can have a partner with you that talk their talk, but when it jump off, you really don't know what you got. Not everybody you've been around is battle tested. And you can't know it if you've never been to war with them. But ISIS was gonna go get it. Man or beast. If they was coming against me, me and Hope was going to war together and vice versa. ISIS actually saved me from several dog attacks. Big German Shepherd got out the yard, charged at me. ISIS grabbed it right by the neck, right before the dog made it to me. I salute you for 13 years of service, of love, loyalty, and respect. A pit bull at a park in Grand Prairie behind Bowles Life Center broke the chain and went to attack Panda. Same thing. ISIS grabbed it right up under the jaw, rendering the dog's mouth useless. The dog's mouth stuck open, can't even use it. And ISIS stayed locked on the dog for about 5 minutes until the owner was able to get a hold of it and save Panda's life. The dog was going to kill Panda. And like I say, when I did decide to go off the grid and sleep in my truck, I could sleep like a baby because ISIS, she didn't play. She wasn't going to let she would wake me up barking. There'd be a possum passing in front of the truck, a raccoon, a coyote, a homeless person, she would alert me. And when we would break down to get a hotel room on different parts of town, I just always had her there. She was always there for the last 13 years. My mother died in January of 2010, and ISIS came into my life in February. She was born on Valentine's Day. And it was right after I lost my mother that I got the most love and loyalty and respect I could have gotten outside of my mother from ISIS. And it's just been for certain people that lose pets and then so they don't want to go out and get another dog, I'm not like that. I mean, we have Panda and Alvin as it is. Some people, the pain is so great they don't want to experience it again. And to me, I'm not scared to love and to lose, because honestly, love is life is temporary as it is. And you're going to experience pain in life. You're going to experience anger. You're going to experience disappointment. You're going to experience all kinds of stuff. But if you have the chance to experience love in life, I suggest you take that chance every time you get. And some people are too worried about, but when it ends, but when I die, but when it's over. People, Life was not granted to us so we can fret over death and to be fearful. Oh my God, one day we're going to die. Death should be the ultimate motivator. It really should. Do you know how bland life would be if we was not on a clock? Do you know how meaningless life would be if we just got this forever and ever and ever and ever? Why would you have a sense of urgency to do anything? What makes life and love so precious is that all this is temporary. We only get it for a short time. This cycle of life, Melinda was saying today, damn it, this cycle of life. As she was crying, because we get so attached to certain things just to lose them. A good friend of mine, Tracy, lost her father recently. And he was my landlord for some years after my homeless period. I was blessed enough for them to have a rent house for me in Grand Prairie, and it was super affordable. And to me, it was better than a mansion. And that man, Steve Green, I would see him over Grand Prairie for years, and we never spoke one word to each other. And I was blessed enough to be able to make friends with him the last 3 or 4 years of his life, where I really got to know that man. And he was funny. So I'm one of those people that I would rather experience love, joy, pleasure. Even if I lose it in the end, I would still rather experience it, because you have certain people, the only experiences they get in life is trauma, abuse, neglect, disappointment, and then death. There's certain pets, certain animals that was lived on the streets, forced to dog fight, abandoned, eating out of garbage cans, drinking polluted water, freezing in the cold, burning up in the summer, get hit by a car, and they're gone. So don't take for granted that everybody and every animal experiences love and joy in this lifetime. Some people experience nothing but misery, nothing but pain. Even though the sun shines every day, I tend to believe just about everybody on this planet have good and bad days. But I feel that most people don't live life to the fullest. They love with limits because they love with fear. Oh, I will never get another dog. I do not want to go through that again. If I had that mindset, I never would have had those awesome 13 years with ISIS. And they were an amazing 13 years. When I tell you, when I was by myself, didn't want to deal with nobody outside of business, didn't want a relationship, she was the perfect companion. Just one thing about her, she would go looking for me anytime we went somewhere. If we was at the gym and I had her outside and I went inside, I'd turn around, she going around the whole gym looking for me. So she always really, really, looked out for me. And amazingly, she got more attached to Melinda than even me. So Melinda's very devastated. That became Melinda's dog, truly. She still always would go look for me and search for me, but it was no question. I would come through the door, she would get excited coming in and see me sometime, like, oh, it's just you, turn around and come back. Mama come home, or she acting a fool. She just really, really loved her. She loved me, but that was her and Melinda became very attached. She was the only dog I had that no dogs like bath. ISIS didn't either. Go get in the tub. She would go get in the tub. Could wash her. She would not get out of that tub until I told her to. She would drip dry until I towel dried her off. So those are some of my experiences. And some people are like, man, this dude is doing a podcast about a pet. If you know, you know. They're like our children for those that love them. Some people, they just don't get it. Like me, I love dogs. I wouldn't want a pet snake. A cold-blooded animal, why would you want a reptile? Some people love them. I can't cuddle a fish, a snake, a frog. I don't like gerbils. I don't like, little animals like that. But I'm a dog person, and since the cat on the trap came into our life, I'm getting kind of attached to that because, she's doing cute stuff all the time. She's a kitten. and Melinda's in love with her. And when you're in a relationship and you see something that brings joy to your child or to your significant other, it's going to bring joy to you, you know. And that's what love does. If you have a kid and you cannot stand snakes and frogs, and you still let your son bring home frogs and snakes, and he's covered in mud, smelling like the creek, and you're just loving letting him be a boy. Some mothers wouldn't touch a frog or a snake if you paid them, but they love seeing the joy in their kids' eyes. And that's what love is. It's unselfish. It's unprejudiced. It's unbiased. It's like, I don't like cats. There's one in the house. It's a loving creature. It's showing love to me and my significant other. I'm going to show love to the cat, you know. And I believe, especially if you have young children, to bring them up with pets really gives them responsibility. It teaches them, as they're correcting a pet, consequences for right and wrong. And when the pet dies, it teaches your kids about the cycle of life, and death is a part of the cycle. It's just a part of the cycle. Everybody watching this podcast, everybody listening to me right now on the IG Live, someday y'all will get the notification about me, or I will get the notification about y'all. We all have a date and time, people. Make sure that, some people don't want to think about it. We learn in the first, second, third grade, we don't live forever. Not in these bodies. So I just encourage everybody to really, really, take inventory, put things in perspective. What are you tripping on that you really shouldn't be tripping on? What are you rehashing and just holding grudges about that you should just be letting go? Who or what should you be embracing and loving that you're scared to because you just don't want to lose it? Life is about living, people. They've done different statistics and tests, and it's a medical fact. When the sperm goes to fertilize the egg, basically, there's so many people that never, ever get to exist that are actually born and get to live this life. So to live this life is a blessing. The fact that there's a life cycle is a bigger blessing. Some people think they want to live forever. It's just like, that's all we know is life. But, people that have seen the other side, who are flatlined and who have, been pronounced clinically dead and come back to their bodies, they say that this is not even the best part. They say that once the spirit is freed from the shell, that's the most beautiful part of this whole cycle. So when we're fretting death, mourning death, really being real, real sad about death, this may not be the best part of the whole thing. Some people truly believe that. I'm not one of those people. I'm sorry, I just don't believe everything easily or whatever. I mean, other people can swear by it. Some people, they are faith-based because of fear. I'm scared to say I don't know. Oh, I absolutely know I'm going to heaven. I absolutely know heaven is real. I've never died. Almost every book printed in this country is full of lies. So I don't know. But I do know that there's a spirit inside this body. I know that. But I just don't know what happened after we leave here. So I'm not going to fret about it, but that's human nature. If the only thing we know is life, of course we're going to cling on to it. When my mother was terminally ill and about to pass away, anytime one of her classmates or relatives about her age would die, she would be, man, they so lucky. She was so miserable that she was envious of the people that was resting in peace before her. One of my uncles, Shaky Red, he was like an uncle, very close with my father. When he died, my mother was like that lucky dog. But as death came for her and she got closer to it, she told me, "Yo, son, I'm scared." She went from I can't wait to die, those people are lucky, to she was like, hey, I'm scared. Because we don't know. The only thing we know is life. But just like most things in life, the things we fret, death is probably just nothing. You don't feel nothing. You're not like, oh, I hate I'm dead. I wish I was at this party. So just like most things we fret, we spend all this time worrying about something that's not even that bad. And then there's a strong possibility that death is beautiful. From just different accounts I've heard, different stuff I've read, the thing we fear and fret the most, almost every person that I've seen interviewed that was clinically dead on record said they didn't want to come back here. The light was so beautiful, the orbs of spirit would approach them, they would know that spirit. That's my grandmother. They didn't need a physical body, they knew the spirits. And I don't recall anyone who flatlined and was clinically dead that went to the other side that came back willingly. They didn't even want to come back to this. So when I look at it from that perspective, I don't know about that, and I'm not signing up to want to rush and find out. But the one thing I do know is that I'm committed to living every day I'm alive and just not sleepwalking through life, going through the motions, trying new things, writing music, doing what I want to do, living life by my rules, standing up and taking my position, not asking for permission, marching to the beat of my own drum, not letting anyone or anything dictate how I'm going to live out the rest of my days. Because people, don't mourn too long. Don't spend too much time mourning your pet, your homeboy, your classmate, whoever. And, of course, Keisha Holloway, Jenny Cox, when a mother loses a child, that's a wrap. They're going to mourn that child till they join them. There's nothing like a mother's love. But I'm outside of mothers, and I really don't think they have a choice. I really don't. The maternal love is so strong, I don't think they can just turn it off. And please don't think I'm saying get over it, people. But I'm saying a lot of us, when someone dies, we just go into this, oh my God. And it's natural. You start rehashing the last conversations you had. When we lost Big Mike at the gym, I was like, man, I'm glad I took that picture. Man, I'm glad we had a really good conversation. But Metroflex was devastated. I've never seen them so shooken to their core. 2 days later, people laughing, people joking, people going on about their life. Life goes on. Yes, people are sad Mike is dead, but people are not just not getting out of bed. I know people, Danielle, Alex, she left when she found out about Mike's death. She had to leave work. When Bull told me I don't let nothing affect my workout, I kind of like just started going through the motions and stopped working out for a minute. Like it's like, yes, death will shock you and leave you numb for a while. Let the dead bury the dead. Look ahead. Get back to living, people. I have seen people mourning someone's death and then they die 3 weeks later. Like, make sure that you're living every moment that you're given. That is my strongest word I can give to you. Make sure you are living every moment you are given. Every moment you do have with your pet, dogs don't last as long as people in most cases. Some people don't make it 7 years. For every 1 human year, a dog has 7 years. It's like 1 year to a dog is 7 years to us. So a dog years is 1 year for them is 7. But enjoy your pets, people. Love them. Their lifespan's even shorter than ours. That's why there's some type of saying. The reasons why animals are not able to talk, the reason why dogs can't talk, because they're showing us that love is not something that's spoken. Love is something that's felt. Love is something that's demonstrated. And if you've never really been a dog person or really had pets, you probably really don't know unconditional love. If your breath's stinking, they love you. If you got a nice haircut, they love you. If your hair is effed up, they love you. If you lost all your hair due to chemo, they love you. And they just want to be wherever you at. Most of them, not all dogs are protectors. Isis would have given her life for me. No question about it. She would have given her life for me. And for me, I would rather have a 4-legged animal that I have to feed, vaccinate, keep the shots up. I would rather have an animal that's going to literally ride or die with me than a person that's going to deny me, that's going to turn their back and run when stuff get real, when things get hectic, when it becomes a true battle of life and death. Pew, before they can think about it, self-preservation, I got to go. So that's why for me, it'll always be dogs for life. And Isis, my ride or die. Today, you earned your wings up there in doggy heaven. That's actually a song that I've been finished, but I got kind of ran around the ringer on the hook. I got a song called All Dogs Go to Heaven. And it's very fitting. I will be releasing that soon. It's a partial tribute to DMX. What up, X? He up there with Boomer and Isis. The only artist I know that really, really brought his love for dogs into the music world. And I love that because there's people out there like DMX. I was literally like that at 14 years old when mama was working doubles and all my older siblings flew to nest and I was at home alone. Talked my mama into getting my first dog solo. I didn't have no brothers. I didn't have no sisters. My cousin Landry, may he rest in peace. He was back in Oak Cliff, and he was my best friend and first cousin. I didn't have him. But when mama finally broke down and let me get that pit bull mix solo, where the red fern grows, Old Yeller, my favorite books I ever read. And when I got solo, and I had already read the book Where the Red Fern Grows several times, had watched the movie Old Yeller and read the book several times. Man, me and Solo, we would go take out in the desert in Las Vegas, go to different creeks and just go on different adventures with just me and my dog. And I didn't need a homeboy that was going to snitch on me, turn his back on me, try to steal my girl. You know, that's what people do. Dogs, their love is unconditional. That loyalty and respect is unconditional. And that's something that people can learn a lot from dogs. Because people talk. A dog can only show you. If a dog is telling you don't come in this yard, I'm not playing with you, he barking, but he can't really explain to you like I'm serious, but he can show you. A dog can't say, oh, I love you, as long as you buy me Gucci bags. I love you, as long as you, buying me a Mercedes or buying me this and that. A dog can only show you. A person can fix their mouth to say anything that they think you want to hear. Animals are smart. They manipulate some, but not the same as a human. Animals don't know how to play with love. They don't know how to play with life. They don't. A dog gonna chase that ball right in front of a car. He living. He chasing the ball. He not thinking about nothing. He not thinking fear. He thinking go, live, run. And we shouldn't be as careless as the dog that chases the ball out in front of the car. But we really do need to go, live, run. For my people out there, half on the fence with their fitness goals and their health. My people out there halfway on the fence with becoming these powerful entrepreneurs and business tycoons. Halfway on the fence with your rap career, your record label. Halfway on the fence with your movie idea or your clothing line. There's no time, people. Go and commit, step on the other side of that fence. And to me, that's what makes me more fearless. We're going to die anyway? Man, what I got to lose? Like, we don't get this forever. We got to turn these bodies back in. When they say you don't get to take none of this material things with us, we don't get to take the muscles with us. We don't get to take the good looks, the smiles, the tall height, the big shoulders, the big butt, the big whatever. We don't get to take none of that with us. That deteriorates and fades back in the dirt. So when you look at life from a certain perspective, for some, it'll lock you in a place. Oh, I'm going to make sure I don't die. I'm going to sit at home and do nothing. You have disrespected every person that was never born. You're disrespecting them. You're disrespecting every person that died from sudden death, from SID. sudden infant death. You're disrespecting every 3-year-old that died, every 4-year-old that died, the kids that died before 13, the young teens that died, the people that died in their early teens and 20s. You are literally disrespecting them when you just, oh, I'm not going to go nowhere. I'm not going to try nothing. I'm not going to take no risks. Someone else could have been given your life. You're not even using it. You're scared to take a chance. For the babies that was aborted, and you wasn't aborted, abortion wasn't around when us old heads was, people was making sure babies wasn't born back then, but it wasn't a procedure. So for the people that was aborted, if they watching you spiritually, hey, Father, can I trade with him? He's not even using it. That's how you should look at life. There's people that didn't even get the chance you have, and you're scared of what people might say. You're scared of what people might think about you. That's just like, why live that way? Think about it. Why would you live that way? Life is temporary. So why would you live in fear? Why would you live scared? That's my stance on the people. Stomach in, head up, chest out. Have fun. That live, laugh, love cliche, it's a cliche if you don't really truly understand it. It's like my philosophy, let's make the best out of the rest of our lives, people. That's my message to you. Rest in peace, Isis, my ride or die. Like I say, was blessed enough to be able to take her to Galveston and, spend time with her on the beach. Was just one time we was at that Grand Prairie Inn hotel, at this hotel room, and there was this dude, he was just making it a point to hang around my hotel room. He was hanging around the door. And at the time, I was staying at the hotel with this female that he had. The dude, really, you could tell he was one of those drug addict pimps. Like, you could tell he was on dope, but he was definitely pimping women, too. And he saw this one lady I was at the room with, and his room was on the other side. He would stand outside their door. He would just always, if you look out the window, he right there by the window, like he was doing some. And one day opened the door, and he was being creepy outside the door, and ISIS ran out the door. And I had opened the door, letting the smoke out. And it wasn't always normal for somebody to be standing outside the door. He was always trying to stand out their door, seeing if he could hear something, seeing if he could see something. So I opened up the door, and when the door opened, he kind of stepped around and looked in the room, and ISIS charged at him. And I'm in there doing something, and I just hear him just, hey, 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 high-pitched voice. It was really kind of funny. And thank God she didn't bite his leg, but she was biting his pants leg. He had on some baggy pants. And she had his pants shaking him, and that dude was about to jump off the 2-story building. He was just panicking. And that was just, I remember he was always being creepy, hanging around the hotel door. And I was so glad that ISIS did that, but didn't actually, break his skin or nothing. And for the week or two after that I stayed there, he stayed away from the room. And it's just little stuff like that. And sometimes I would leave, and that young lady would be there by herself, and she would always leave ISIS, and I feel safe. She would walk ISIS around the hotel and feel safe. And that was back, that Grand Prairie Inn, that's pretty much a dope fiend hotel. I wasn't on dope, but I was broke enough to, where I wasn't gonna go spend a whole lot of money on the hotel room. And not only was I broke enough to be at the hotel, that's just an example of just living beneath your potential. It's one thing not to chase money. It's one thing not to worship money. But to me, that's also another area. That's also another example of how you can waste your life. If you have potential to be a king, but you're living like a dope fiend, a part of that goes more on the line of existing than living. You buy a brand new Lamborghini and you never take it past 30 miles per hour. Why'd you get that Lamborghini? Ain't nobody saying, break the law every day, risk your life every day, trying to push it to 200. But really, you got a Lamborghini and you're never going above 30? That's what a lot of us are doing with our potential. And then some of us, we get to the point where we done crossed that path. We done crossed that point of no return. We can still be great. We can just never be a running back now. There's no such thing as a 50-year-old running back. We can still be great, but it's not going to be the same as if we would have did it when we was 20, 30, or whatever. It's never too late to chase dreams and to be what you're going to be. But if you wanted to make it to the NBA and now you're 45 or 50, maybe you could be a coach in the NBA, but don't waste your youth. To my youngsters out there, for my people who have pretty much wasted most of their life already, if you're 51 years old, and especially if you're African American, but if you're 51, period, 9 times out of 10, you've got more runway behind you than you do in front of you. And most of us have a lot more behind us than we do in front of us, as far as the road we own, the road we're traveling. So people, take your God-given life. Take everything that you were blessed with. Don't take it for granted. I was going to say take it serious, but take it one moment at a time. Take your goals and dreams serious, but don't take all of this too serious ever. Don't take social media too serious. Don't take your likes or how many likes you get or don't get on social media too serious. The simple things in life, I would encourage people to embrace those. Some people have already become so materialistic. They've become so watered down. They've become so disconnected and have truly lost perspective on what makes life beautiful, on what makes life important. It's the moments, people. The moments. Those moments that create memories is what all this is about. So when you write your own book, people, it's okay to spice it up a little bit. When you're writing your book in this book of life, he was born, he worked for Budweiser, he liked dogs, he liked pizza, and he died. She was born, she worked for Mary Kay, she had a contagious laugh, she died. For some people, simple life is all they need. Who believe in the simple things in life. For people who have this quest to be great at something before I leave this, for the people that itch and it feels like a calling, you don't know what it is. I've been real good at this. I've been kind of good at that, but I want to be great at something in this lifetime. For those people that feel that, please quit wasting time. Because if you feel that, there's a strong possibility that the company that you open is going to save somebody's life and change somebody's whole trajectory. There's a chance that the book that you're supposed to be writing is going to save many lives. There's a chance that that music, that movie, that gym, whatever, there's a chance that that what you say or do is going to spark so much more. It's bigger than you. And I feel like for those people that feel like, I just want to do something great, I think you're supposed to. I think we're all supposed to do something kind of phenomenal in our lifetime. It don't have to be being rich and famous. If you're one of those people that just spreads cheer and joy everywhere you go, if you're one of those people that just take pride in charity, that feel like you was put here to help the less fortunate, and that's where your joy comes from, do that. People, don't let society, don't let the rap videos, don't let Hollywood make you think the only thing to strive for is the bag, the bling, the Bugatti, the drip. That might not be for you. Your thing literally might be just going ahead and moving to a different place, moving to the beachfront home. traveling with no real home, living on an RV. Your joy is your joy. But people, I encourage y'all so much. In this lifetime, find your purpose, find your pleasure, and hold on to it. I don't care how silly it seems. I don't care if you got one of those macho dads or uncles like, oh, quit. We don't do that. Sometimes men and women will shatter someone else's vision. That's not what men do. That's not what black people do. That's not what white people do. Mexicans don't do that. Christians don't do that. A real man don't do that. I had a lady, Sabina Adams. Rod, you take a lot of pictures for a guy. Artist. Michelangelo was a man. People think that art is, man, men don't like art. Some of the greatest artists in the world were men. People lose perspective. If I can't draw art and I see a beautiful sunset, the skyline is perfect, there's green trees, the water looks like a picture, I can't draw it, but God is the greatest artist ever. I can capture it. If you've got an artistic mindset, don't let people talk you out of it. You're a football player. Football players don't do ballet. All of them doing it now. Schwarzenegger was a bodybuilder. He did ballet to improve his bodybuilding. Tupac did ballet. It's like you never know what's going to spark someone else's, not only ideas, but freedom. When I performed at the Running Coleman Classics, there was people in the audience saying, you know what? This man hasn't given up on his dream. Shit, I thought I was too old to do it. He's doing it, and he's doing it good. I'm going to do it too. Sometimes when you take the shackles off you, you free so many others. I don't know how many people reach out to me about this STWF studio. It's a good look. Man, those words, I needed those words. Man, I like what y'all doing. Man, you making me want to do something. How can I do that? And some of these people was like me before. They was just stuck. But then they see me doing it, and that's a good thing. So they want to pursue theirs. And that's why AP Appleberry reached out to me. Slaughta, keep doing your thing, man. Believe me, we watching. Believe me, we all watching, and it's very inspirational. And the same thing that AP been a go-getter. And hey, rather people are saying, hey, we see you and cheering for you. People are watching, and there's certain people. We prevented a guy from committing suicide with one of our podcasts. That's what your vision, when you have that vision that you want to let out, sometimes it's not just so you can be rich and famous. Sometimes it's not just so you can go get that farm. Sometimes you're given that vision because that very vision is going to keep somebody living. Seriously. We was not meant to pass through here without making some type of effect, without making an impact or creating some type of effect. And your effect may not be to create the same effect that Jay-Z, Tupac, Biggie, or Finesse 2 Times. That might not be your thing. Your impact might be just to make the common man feel important. Your vision or your purpose that you were meant to share with everybody else, it doesn't always have to be millions and billions of dollars. It don't always have to be a $5 million vehicle. It don't always have to be, hey, y'all see what I got? Y'all see what I'm doing? Sometimes you can give people the freedom to just live a simple life. Oh, man, I thought it was all about chasing the bag. I thought it was all about trying to be the richest, trying to be the biggest crip. I thought it was all about trying to be the biggest gangster. I thought it was all about respect, and respect is very important. But some people even misconstrue and screw up what respect means. Some people think fear is respect. Some people think if you don't chop everybody down that don't agree with you immediately, you soft. If they look like they're not rocking with you, you're supposed to jump dead and some people think that's respect. Some people, men and women, they only respect what they can see materially, on a material level. There's other people that if you don't have a six pack, if you can't bench 400 pounds, and you're not built, what are you doing? I don't respect that. You got people that I don't give a damn about your muscles. If you don't have a bachelor's, if you're not an IT dude, if you're not a computer scientist, what are you doing? I mean, everybody have different gifts, different talents, and different perspectives on what success is, on what respect is. And I encourage everybody, find yours. Find out what your respect is. Find out what your joy is. Find out what brings you peace. And with this clock ticking and us not knowing when the clock is going to stop, when the clock is going to explode, when the clock is just going to malfunction, it's just very important, people, make the best out of every moment you're given. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up with that. And y'all, love your people, love your pets, and live life with no regret. Slaughta POD. Ow! Rest ISIS.